Indeed, what about that? What a game. More to the point, what a show. Come and have a go if you think you're clever enough. See you next time on The Chase. Goodbye.
Tonight on One News, he distributed horrific images of child sexual abuse. Now he's sentenced in one of our worst exploitation cases. How he was caught. Also from Red Zone to Green Zone, a major plan is finally approved to transform the uninhabitable, quake-ravaged area of Christchurch. We reveal what's set to happen.
of the worst cases of child exploitation material New Zealand has ever seen, has evaded a maximum jail term.
Today, Nigel Irwin was sentenced to 5 years and 9 months behind bars, reduced from a record high 9 years after pleading guilty to possessing and distributing the material. Gia Garrick was at Palmerston North District Court today.
An emotional Nigel Irwin as the judge read out the details of the harm he's caused.
In this case, infants through to children, with a particular focus on toddlers.
Hundreds of files on 5 devices, some distributed to others on messaging app Viber and online chat forum Kirk.
And it has hundreds of millions of users right now.
It's through using a range of normal, everyday online platforms that many of us use, which kind of goes to show that while there's great benefit with technology, there's also great potential for harm and risk.
Internal Affairs child exploitation teams worked with the police, customs and overseas partners to bring Nigel Irwin and his offending out of the darkness and into the courtroom.
This kind of activity survives in the shadows, and so we see what we see. We're always fairly confident there's much more than what we see. I would go as far as to say what the department sees is the tip of the iceberg, sadly.
Judge Lance Rowe said the files found were at the more explicit end of this sort of offending because they contained both rape and bestiality. Irwin could have faced a longer jail term had he not pleaded guilty to the 9 charges laid against him, and there's belief he wants to change.
You find your own behaviour abhorrent and you want to change, and that you are genuine in wanting to change. It is clear, however, that you still have some way to go.
And the reality is there are people out there that do experience this as an issue, and the message is they need to seek help, and there is help available within New Zealand.
Internal Affairs has successfully prosecuted 99 people on child exploitation charges since April 2014. They say these aren't just pictures and videos.
People seeking out these images and possessing them and sharing them are creating demand for children to be sexually abused. These are real children. This is not a victimless crime.
Today, a successful prosecution, but the work continues right around the world. Gia Garrick, 1 News.
A man is in custody following the death of a 5-month-old baby boy in Whangarei. Police and ambulances were called to this house around 8:30 last night, but the 5-month-old died at the scene. A 28-year-old man's been charged with assault. As forensic teams examined the property today, police are awaiting the results of the post-mortem before deciding whether to lay further charges. Neighbours telling 1 News the family had lived in the house for about a year and appeared very friendly.
An exciting collaboration. That's how the North Island iwi Tūhoe is describing a new partnership, which it hopes will see fewer children end up in state care.
Under the deal, Tūhoe will work with Oranga Tamariki to find homes for the iwi's at-risk children. And it comes as the ministry faces a Māori-led inquiry. Laura James reports.
Come on, let's come inside. Josephine Takamori loves spending time with her mokopuna.
Through to the kitchen.
In the past, even taking some into her care.
Had I not stepped in, it was a grave area that they would have gone under the care of SIFs at the time.
She's now looking forward to helping others after the signing of an agreement between her iwi and Oranga Tamariki.
As soon as a child who whakapapas back to Tūhoe becomes known to Oranga Tamariki, then Oranga Tamariki will have contact with Tūhoe, and right from the beginning we'll start to bring them into the conversation.
Oranga Tamariki brings their experience. They bring some people that can support us in what we're doing. Tūhoe brings the homes for the children and the love and care that these children deserve.
The deal's been 2 years in the making. Iwi leaders confident there are plenty of Tūhoe families ready to open their homes.
Here I am, Tūhoe, give me some of them. I'd rather be talking to Tūhoe than try and talk to the system. And Oranga Tamariki for me, it's the language and the barriers that they have.
The uplifting of children by the agencies come in for criticism by Māori recently, and while Tūhoe believes that's probably warranted,
that criticism lies equally at my feet as well. If there is a lack of care, love and attention in homes for children, I have never thought of Oranga Tamariki as an institution to provide that for Tūhoe children. That's my job.
3 other iwi already have similar strategic partnerships in place, with over 4,000 Māori Māori children in state care, over 200 from Tūhoe.
This is just a continuation of work where we all participate in looking after our children.
The hope that it'll lead to brighter futures.
And ultimately we know who they are, who they belong to in all aspects.
All parties just wanting to see more tamariki in loving whānau homes like this one. Laura James, One News.
The plan has finally been approved to regenerate Christchurch's red zone, the aim to better connect people, river and land. Let's take a look now at the lie of that land, using the central city as our starting point. Zooming out, the red zone right here, covering a large, sprawling area to the east of the CBD towards the coast. The 602-hectare space left uninhabitable by the earthquakes once contained 5,000 homes. Now, just over half of that land, the green spine following the Avon River, is a big focus. Running about 11 kilometres from the city to New Brighton, it'll have walkways, picnic and barbecue areas, and water sport amenities. Lisa Davies has more details and reaction.
More than 5,000 homes once stood proud here. Now, finally, some certainty for the land on which they stood.
Because it was home to so many people, it was the people and communities of Christchurch, past, present and future, who I have put at the centre of my decision making.
The decision to approve a 30-year plan that includes 345 hectares of parkland, deepening the Avon River for water sports, and 6 areas dedicated to trialling adaptable housing.
Things can begin, things that aren't going to just be temporary. I think that we're all more than ready to move past the temporary in Christchurch.
This red zone area is massive. It's 602 hectares. It dwarfs Hagley Park, Christchurch's largest green area at the moment. It's 3.6 times bigger. Many at the announcement today used to live on this land, including the Mayor of Christchurch.
One of the things that have always kept those of us who lived in these areas going is the idea that this would be an extraordinary legacy from the disaster that befell our city.
Evan Smith has wanted this vision to be realised for more than 8 years.
These lands represent a lot of trauma, a lot of angst. It was seen as a problem for a long time, but now we're starting to turn that around and it's becoming part of the solution.
Today was bittersweet for him as he looked across the river to where he once lived with his family.
I think this is wonderful. It's what the land wants to be. Let's let it be it. And it just seems like we can be at peace now.
The land he loves, ready to begin another transformation. Lisa Davies, One News. Also looking to be transformed, Christchurch's Citizens War Memorial. It could be on the move, with the RSA set to apply for resource consent to relocate it. The cenotaph been largely inaccessible for people to pay their respects at Cathedral Square since the 2011 earthquake. The RSA hoping to publicly notify its resource consent application for the move later this year, so the Christchurch community can have a say. It's estimated to move Cranmer Square, where the city's main Anzac Day commemoration is held. It could cost up to $1.2 million.
An Auckland childcare centre's been fined more than $200,000 after a tree collapsed on staff and toddlers in 2016. A teacher and 4 children were injured, one critically, when high winds toppled the tree into the play area of Discovery's Educare in Newmarket. WorkSafe found the tree had been dead for over a year, and it was pure luck that no one died in the incident. It says the tree should have been identified and appropriate steps taken to address the risk.
Videos emerged online of Fijian Prime Minister Frank Bainimarama appearing to shove an opposition MP outside Parliament.
The alleged assault, which took place a fortnight ago, is the subject now of a police complaint. For more details, let's go to Pacific correspondent Barbara Drever. Barb.
Well, the footage has emerged on a controversial blog site, you could say, and it shows the Fiji Prime Minister striding up to the opposition MP, Pio Tikondondua, and grabbing him by the jacket and giving him a shove. Now, the MP has alleged his glasses were broken in the process, and the Prime Minister swore at him. This incident took place outside Parliament after a fractious debate inside, and Mr Tikondondua has laid a complaint with the police. Now, at the time, Vorenki Bainimarama's Fiji First Party said on its Facebook page that the alleged assault was a blatant lie. Our attempts to get a response from the Fiji government and Mr Bainimarama himself have so far been unsuccessful, but bear in mind this video was posted quite late this afternoon.
And I've got to say, it's not a great look for the Pacific leader.
Well, it's certainly not prime ministerial behaviour, and while it does appear to be a bit of pushing and shoving, it also appears to be one-sided. Now, I was in Tuvalu with Borenke Bainimarama and other Pacific leaders last week at the Pacific Islands Forum. He made a big splash with his leadership on climate change, and he's also featured on the world stage, flying the flag for Pacific countries. So, yeah, not a good look. But I guess the real question is, what happens now with the police investigation and whether Fiji police decide to lay charges against their own Prime Minister?
Pacific correspondent Barbara Drever, thank you.
The Amazon is still burning, and the demands for more action are getting as fierce as the flames. France's president is now calling the fires in Brazil an international crisis, and he wants them top of the agenda at this weekend's meeting of G7 leaders. Here's Kim Baker-Wilson.
As the fires in the Amazon rainforest roar, for a second day running, Brazil's defiant president is blaming aid groups for starting the blazes.
NGOs have lost money. Without money from Norway and Germany, they are without jobs. So what do? They try to bring me down. But what about them?
He offered no evidence, and organisations say it's the president to blame.
The way Greenpeace views that, I suppose, is attempts by President Bolsonaro to conceal his anti-environment policies.
The record number of fires suspected to have been lit by loggers and farmers, igniting global concern. Our house is literally burning, France's president says, an international crisis that needs to be on the table at the G7 summit. And the head of the UN says he's deeply concerned. The Amazon must be protected. But that photo Emmanuel Macron used is part of online confusion. It's an old photo, one of many false images going around. Current satellite images show an 85% increase in fires across Brazil this year, firing up protesters. A Brazilian official taking the heat at this climate conference. The Amazon's widely seen as the last buffer against climate change, but now these lungs of the earth are in trouble.
20% of the oxygen that we breathe on Earth comes out of those 400 billion trees.
Neighbouring Bolivia is also ablaze. More than 1 million acres burned there. The country's pleading for help from Brazil, but Brazil's president says it can't fight its own fires.
No, there aren't the resources. The chaos has arrived.
The president feeling the heat of international political pressure as the fires rage on. Kim Baker-Wilson, One News.
Now, from Justin Bieber, Rihanna to J-Lo, now J.A. Kiwi dance superstar Paris Goebel is busting a move with Jacinda Ardern.
Yes, the global mover and shaker has been enlisted to help showcase New Zealand at next year's World Expo in Dubai. Work on our pavilion at the Festival of Global Innovation is ramping up, as Katie Bradford reports.
She's a household name here. Now Paris Goebel is taking us global.
The little girl I would have dreamed of, like if someone's to say you're going to put together a program to showcase New Zealand on a world stage is just a huge honour for me.
New Zealand's $50 million pavilion at the 2020 Dubai Expo is now under construction, and the hip-hop choreographer to the stars will design events and performances showing off Kiwi artists and style throughout the 438-hectare Expo Park.
It's about showcasing our talent and giving the confidence that we need as a country, because we have the gifts, we have the talent, but it's time for us as New Zealand to stand up and be like, hey, we're amazing.
But the Expo is not just about dance. In fact, Paris has just $2.5 million to show off New Zealand's cultural side. The rest of the $50 million budget will go on anything from presenting New Zealand's food to business to the 25 million people expected to go through the pavilion.
I talk to our exporters a lot, and they tell me how important that brand proposition is for them on the world stage.
There are a range of benefits that you look to achieve by participating in an expo, and they include investment, trade, tourism.
But 192 other nations will also be trying to show the world what they've got. So the aim from organisers is to let visitors see a different side to New Zealand.
Messages around our diversity, the importance of young people, and showcase New Zealand in a modern and urban way.
This is not about what we say, it's how people will feel.
As for whether the Prime Minister will be showing off her dance moves.
Zarina told me that to tap dance, so...
Badly. Very, very badly. No.
The 6-month World Expo kicks off in October next year. Katie Bradford, One News.
Or the couple who almost starved their toddler to death with a vegan diet has been found guilty of neglect. Next, why they managed to avoid jail time.
And the giant new microscope showing what used to be invisible inside our bodies, and it's helped scientists make a discovery about the flu virus.
Then on Seven Sharp, a terrifying hostage ordeal for Kiwi backpackers.
Yes, they got into a taxi in Tanzania and were abducted by 4 men. We find out how they escaped and whether they plan to come home. And a novel approach to getting elected. Can one small step change the way we see election billboards in the future? Join us tonight at 7.
Things are heating up tonight on 1. At 7:30, it's a winner chicken dinner.
My day is just getting better and better.
Then heads are turning on a place to call home.
I'll raise our baby unmarried, head held high.
And later,
Vicky, wait. I want you to stay.
will Vicky stay? That's tonight on 1.
BB&B's biggest ever birthday sale is on now with 50% off store-wide. 50% off sheets, towels, pillows, duvets, cushions, fabulous homewares and so much more. There's a whole store full of birthday bargains, so hurry to Bed Bath & Beyond.
What makes you happy? Knowing that you could, if you wanted to? Like you could get the legendary off-road performance of a Land Cruiser Prado VX. If you wanted to, you could tow a boat, towing a hippo. You could chauffeur royalty with leather interior and heated seats. Plus with Toyota Safety Sense tech, like lane departure alert and autonomous emergency braking, you could say it's nearly as smart as you, if you wanted to. And you could drive it away for just $79,990. Search Prado VX and drive happy.
Get Dad sorted this Father's Day at The Warehouse. These blockbuster gift sets are only $10. This Marco 18-volt cordless drill value pack is just $69. And make him smile with these fun gifts from just $8. Dad sorted at The Warehouse. I've been waxing.
This weekend, spend $100 or more and you'll save 40 cents per litre on your next fuel topper. Available to AA Smart Fuel Card holders. Redco. It starts with the parts.
Want a new smartphone that's bursting with cheers, chants and sizzling rugby action? Get New Zealand's only mobiles with a free Rugby World Cup 2019 tournament pass with Spark. Find out more today. Discover your home's full potential with a new quick step wood or laminate floor. And right now, with every house lot purchased, you'll also get a free designer rug to complete the look. Flooring Extra. Style by the square measure.
Talk to Bank of New Zealand about switching to a home loan custom built around your life. And right now, you can take advantage of this great interest rate. Bank of Custom Built Home Loans. Bank of New Zealand.
Smith City's massive clear-out is on now. $15 million worth of stock must go. End of lines and overstocks are priced to clear. Get in quick for prices you won't believe. Only at Smith City.
Hello, chocolate lovers. Come on, we're going on a little journey to see how Andrew and Brian get from bean to bar. Of course, we have to start here in Ghana, because here they grow and sun-dry the world's finest cocoa beans. Next, we're off to the home of precision,
Call your highest team of lights.
Switzerland, where
Highest light
Andrew
and
and Brian found the most exacting cocoa refiner, the 5-roll refiner. But come on, so where to go yet? Now we head to the chocolate capital of the world, Ororua, where they really set to work roasting each bean to perfection. Then they refine and refine until you end up with creamy milk chocolate that simply couldn't be creamier. So it's quite a journey from bean to